Mike from Virtue Paintball. I've been getting a lot of tech calls about people having trouble installing their Rotor RF kits, so I'm going to give you a little video on how to do it. First, you're going to need your Rotor Virtue board. This does not come with the RF kit. You will need to purchase the Rotor RF kit separately. You purchase the board and then the kit. The kit includes everything to hook up your gun right between your loader. Right now we're using an E-Tech 3, but pretty much the install goes the same way for all guns. You're going to uninstall your solenoid wire. Take the kit will include all different wires for different solenoids. You want to splice it in half. Just plug it in. Plug that into the solenoid connection. Then you're going to take your transmitter. The transmitter and receiver will be labeled with the TN and R. You're going to take the transmitter, which is going to go inside of the gun, and hook it to the solenoid wire. That's all you got to do for the gun. Now you're going to put this aside. You're going to take the rotor, take all the stock parts out. Basically, you want to get to the battery pack. This is where the stock board is located. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and pretty much just take your batteries out, unscrew the three Phillips head screws that are keeping it closed. Unplug your battery pack. Okay. Now that when you get that open, you'll see that the board and the motor is sitting inside. You're going to want to pop the stock board out, unplug the rotor motor, and this you can just put to the side. You'll take your Rotor Virtue board, open. Alright, just take this out of the packaging. Now, to set this up with RF, you're going to need one of your 4 wire connectors. You're going to plug it right next to the speaker. This will then connect into your amp. It's a separate piece from your receiver and transmitter. This also will have the 4-pin connector that you just plug that wire right into. Then the Rotor RF kit will also come with another 4-pin wire, which you'll put in the other side of the amp. And then you're going to install the RF receiver onto the end of that 4-pin connector. Now, reinstalling this, you're going to just pretty much do it the same way you took it apart. This is the setup that you're going to have inside of your loader. To put your battery pack back together, you're going to take the 1 4-pin connector off of your amp, run it up through the little slot in the middle of the rotor. That's the plate for the battery pack. Make sure it clicks down. Install your Phillips head screws right back on. And then your battery pack is going to go right down on top of that. Make sure you plug in your battery pack to the Virtue rotor board, and then you can attach the amp back to the 4-pin wire. You're going to want to put the amp on one side, and then the wire going to the receiver, you're going to want to wrap around the back side of the battery pack, and then put your bullet trigger on. The reason you do this is because you don't want the wires showing up in your drive pin. Now that is your Rotor Virtue board installed with the Rotor RF kit. Turn it on, just make sure it works. Having a couple problems where people their trigger is not actually compressing our micro switch. If your rotor board won't go into programming mode, to fix this problem, you're going to push down on the micro switch and bend the lever up. This little bend will allow the trigger to compress it now, and that should fix your problem. Turn it on. If you hear grinding, it's this wire contacting this black gear. You're going to want to pull the wire out until you hear it stop grinding. That will fix that noise. Then you just install the battery pack on top, and then proceed to reinstall all the parts back into your rotor. Installing the amp, you're going to want to make sure that you have the right sides of the wires on each side. They'll be labeled with 2 RF going to your receiver, or 2 board going down to the rotor board. And if the receiver and transmitter should come synced. If they don't, you're going to want to turn your marker on with your eyes off. You're going to turn the loader on, pull the trigger back, and now get it into programming mode. To sync them, you're going to want to pull the trigger until you see a flashing yellow, and then you're going to want to tap the trigger or just fire the solenoid in the gun. After you see the green light, that means that they're connected, and then turn the rotor board off. After everything is installed, your gun and your loader are synced. You're going to want to just make sure that everything is working. Turn the board on regular without pulling the trigger. It's going to show blue, and then you're going to want to wait until it turns to flashing green. Now you'll pull the trigger on your marker, and you'll see the LED will turn blue. This now means that your loader and your marker are synced. I'm going to go over the programming colors with you. To get the board into programming mode, you're going to turn it on, pull the trigger back. You'll see a little rainbow and then land on purple. Purple is the setting to sync your loader between your marker. After you do this once, you shouldn't have to do it again. You'll pull the trigger and it'll show green, which is your auto shutdown time. It'll be blue, which is your audio control. White is your speed control, and then it will be red, which is your pulse time. If everything is working correctly, just go out, shoot some people. If you run into any problems, feel free to contact us over the phone at 631-617-5346, or you can email us at info@virtuepaintball.com.